Our next movie is called The Rachel Papers, and it tells the story of a young British man played by Charles Highway who knows he is not handsome or incredibly sexy, and so he decides to use brain power and his computer to win the battle of the sexes. He falls in love with a beautiful young girl played by Ione Skye and conducts his campaign with flowers, compliments, carefully chosen quotations of poetry, and a general attempt to convince her that he's an extraordinary and altogether irreplaceable human being. But she's an elusive target, and she seems to have another boyfriend somewhere around.
Look, what's the story here?
What are you talking about?
I mean, it's a setup, right? Instead of this time, it's not just the forest. This time, your whole bloody family are in on it.
No, it's not like that at all.
Rachel? 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 Rachel?
That was James Spader, a hot actor right now, as the boyfriend. The Rachel Papers has moments of comedy and charm, and I like the performances by Ione Skye and by a newcomer named Dexter Fletcher, who plays Charles Highway. But this movie has the misfortune of coming along just a few months after getting it right. Another movie about a lonely British outsider who tries to win love by being smarter than other people, and this movie is really not nearly as good. It's one of those films where the characters are taking so long to get to the point where you, and even they, know that they're obviously headed, that eventually you lose patience.
Yeah, I lost a lot of patience with this. Not only isn't it as good as Getting It Right, I don't think it's as good, and this isn't much competition, as a lot of the Hollywood films about young people. I think this was sort of like a British attempt to do the standard, you know, Matthew Broderick, just speaking generically, young person on the make and caught up in relationships, and it wasn't flatly as entertaining. You can almost see why American films are dominating the rest of the world when here's a film that is really trying to be quite entertaining. It's not too complicated, and it's just not there. It's not particularly funny.
Well, the central conceit in the movie, which also comes from a novel, is that the guy has a program on his computer and he has 16 questions that he asks about every single girl, and then you see the questions being filled in and then various strategies. The computer is totally irrelevant. The Rachel Papers refers to the computer program about this girl. If they'd thrown out the computer and the whole idea of the Rachel Papers and had her meet the girl and try to deal with her on a one-to-one basis without the gimmick, the movie would have moved a lot more quickly.
I guess the reason why they used it is they thought it would be more contemporary to use the visuals of a computer screen.
In that case, this is just a tiny point. Every once in a while, when I see a computer in the movies, I wish they would show a computer screen that looks like a computer screen and has a program on it that looks like a computer program. This was obviously advertising graphics that somebody had pasted up as if it were a computer screen and didn't look like any computer program that has ever existed.
Okay, but
that's irrelevant as film criticism, but I didn't charge you extra for it.
I thought this was a film criticism show. Now let's